So, hi everyone. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make two different
South American
activities. So the first one we are going to make is what they call a God's Eye. It's a little bit like our dream catchers, and all it is this one is two bamboo food skewers with the points rubbed off, and some wool, lots of different colours of wool. So you might be able to see the different colours. Bring it slightly closer. But there we go. So you can do this just with the two, or you can be different like I am and actually do it with three. It will make it look slightly more like a spider's web. So as you can see, I have only just started. There we go. And doing it with three is slightly more difficult because obviously you have more poles and it's more difficult to be able to tie them. So in the middle, the first thing you're going to want to do is actually to square lash your two poles together. Okay? So obviously these are slightly bigger poles and slightly bigger rope. So I can show you how to square lash. Okay? So put them together as a cross. First thing you're going to want to do is first of all tie your first knot just round one. So that it is nice and tight. So this can just be a normal knot just to start you off with, just nice and tight so that it doesn't slip. Okay, so there we go. So simple knot. If we take our second one, what we're going to then do is, so it's called square lashing because at the end it will look like a square. Okay. Okay, so for beavers, adults, you may need to help for this. Okay, but I'm sure all you cubs and scouts can manage to do this by yourself. Okay, so the frequent thing that I always actually forget to do is to go round. Okay, so this is the one thing I hold my hands up and I will say I do forget to do this, and I'm sure many of your other leaders can admit that they forget to do it as well. Okay, so once you get to here, tie off your ends. Good knot to finish on is always going to be a reef knot, which again, if people aren't sure, is right over left and under, and then left over right and under. And the way to tell that you've tied a reef knot correctly is if you can do that. So the reef knot is also the knot that is around the world badge on all members that have been invested, chest on their left hand side. So that is how you're going to want to start off your God's Eye. So traditionally with the God's Eye, your dad would weave the first line for when the baby is born, and so on. Each year, a new ring colour would be added
until you're 5
on your birthday until you are 5. So traditionally these would be 5 colours. And it's also a connection with your ancestors. Okay.
Do you need cameras moved or are you okay at the moment? Okay. the next one.
Okay, so this one's already started. So I'll show you just the 4. I will show you the 3 in a minute. It's basically doing exactly the same, just with multiple sticks. Okay. So what we wanted to do is we go over this one where I've stopped. So our wool is underneath. So we go over that one and then over the next one as well. And then we go underneath and do it again. You're wanting to make sure that it stays nice and tight to the centre. Okay, so you are going over 2 sticks and then back under 1. Okay, so ready? Over 2 sticks and under 1. Over 2 sticks and under 1. As I say, every so often you will need to push these up, but that's not a problem. Okay, so I'm now going to show you a little bit on the 3. It's doing exactly the same. With the 3, you cannot square lash them together. It is not easy, but you are still doing exactly the same movement. So you're going over 2. So if you watch, over 2 and under 1, over 2, under 1. Again, still making sure that it stays nice and tight to the centre. Okay. I will post a finished video, a finished photo of both of them, because as I say, these can take quite a while to finish. So when you are changing colours, you can either tie your first strand, your first colour off, and then start again, or you can tie your two colours of wool together and go and carry on from there. It is completely up to you. But if you want less knots, it's probably easier for you to just tie your 2 colours together. So probably the best knot for that is an overhand knot. Which most of you probably do without even realising. So with all of your sticks, you are going to want to keep making sure that you slide your wool up, otherwise you will end up with gaps like this. Okay, so just slide it down, make sure you keep it nice and tight. So here we go. So as you can see, red is now finished. And there is our little knot, and at the end, that can just be snipped off. But again, you're still doing exactly the same movement. So over 2, under 1. Over 2, over 1. As I say, it's exactly the same. Making sure that you keep it nice and tight. You can cut your tails off now. It is completely up to you. I'd personally do it at the end, because otherwise, knowing my luck, I would get it finished and hang it on the wall and then go, oh, there's a tail on that. And I'd completely forget to cut it off. So as you can see from the back, obviously the front is nice and flat, and the back where you're going underneath is indented. So it's all nice and flat on the front, but dented at the back. Okay. So as I say, these do take quite a while. So I have got a completed one, but I will also post pictures of this one completed. So there is a completed one, as you can see, slightly different colours. But colours aren't particularly relevant. It just makes them look even prettier. So if you want, you can do them in more colours, but traditionally they are only 5 colours. Okay, so the next one is next activity is tissue paper marigolds. So marigolds are a traditional flower for a festival called Day of the Dead, which I'm sure most of you have already heard of. I will also post some pictures that you can print and colour in that are traditional Mexican images for Day of the Dead. So, unlike Halloween, it involves a lot of bright colours. It is a time to remember your ancestors, the members of your family who have died in a happy way. They make a special bread, and they also have sugar skulls, which is a traditional Mexican Dia del Muerto sweet, made literally from sugar and egg white. And then they are decorated with icing. So they are extremely sweet, and I'm sure would send most of your beavers, cubs and scouts driving their parents absolutely crazy. So the marigolds, as I said, are the traditional flower. To decorate. So they are a nice bright orange, yellow, and sometimes even red. So I have 4 different coloured sheets of tissue paper. Okay, I'm doing it with 4 different colours because it'll make it easier for you to be able to see what I'm actually doing. Okay, so tissue paper and a pipe cleaner or a piece of wire also works. Pipe cleaners are obviously a lot easier to use and fiddle, and are shorter than wire without having to cut them. So your 4 pieces of paper, I will move the cameras in a minute. Okay, so in the end, you'll end up with a marigold like this. Mine have got slightly squished where I put them in a box to keep them safe. So as you can see from these two, there are 2 different ways that you can cut your sheets. Okay, so you can cut them with straight edges, or you can cut them with crinkly edges. But the one thing you do have to be careful of is that you fold them on the right side. So we will be folding our piece of paper on the short side, because if you fold them on the long side, they don't look particularly like marigolds, but they look more like a double tulip because they're high. It's fine.
Okay.
So what you're going to want to do is, so I've got 4 sheets, all nicely together, 3 shades of pink and a shade of orange. And what you're going to want to do is fold it. Nice and small. Okay, let me turn this round. Nice and small. Making sure that you keep all 4 of your sheets of paper nicely together. So you're going to want to make that quite a nice solid crease. Okay, and then you keep going. So you do something that's called concertinaing. Again, making sure all of your folds are nice and firm. If anyone's not sure what concertina ring is, it's like this. Okay, so that it looks like the musical instrument, a concertina. You want to do this on the whole thing. So there we go. All 4 of my sheets are concertinaed. Now I get my pipe cleaner. You can actually put 2 on one pipe cleaner, as you can see. What I'll do is I'll just put one on one end for now. So what you're going to want to do is roughly in the middle of your paper is slide your pipe cleaner through. And twist.
You want your paper the other way. So that it's thin edge up. Thin edge up.
Yeah. Okay, so you twist it at the bottom. Okay, so you've got a nice solid so that your paper can't slip off. Okay. So there we go. That is how you want your, at this stage, to look. So the next thing you're going to want to do, adults, again, you may need to help. Scissors, so that you can cut your edges. So as I say, 2 ways that you can do it is in a curve, like this one. Okay. Or you can just cut them so that they are a nice straight edge, like this one. Or you can cut them at an angle, so that they are longer in the middle and shorter on the outside edge. It is completely up to you. Okay, so I'm going to cut mine in a curve. If my chair would like to stop trying to turn around. Okay, so there's one side.
You can lose the gutty edges if you didn't keep it together neat.
So yeah, any problems with your, maybe slightly scruffy edges on your tissue paper, you can cut them off now. Okay, so there we go. So the next thing we're going to want to do is a bit like the paper lanterns that you can buy that once you straighten them out look like a ball. You're going to want to straighten your petals out so they look like half a flower, half a circle. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do is very slowly and carefully is slowly bring each layer up, so starting obviously from your middle, and slowly separate each layer of paper. So there is the first layer of pink. So here we go, as you can see I've got my first layer up, and I've got the first half of my second one coming up now as well. So this is, again, why I've got 4 different colours. So you can see each time I bring the next layer up. So obviously you are having to be nice and gentle with this. It is only tissue paper, so can rip very easily. So again, adults may need to help, just to tease the tissue paper up. So here we go, that's 2 colours up. You can also, you're starting to see that it's now definitely starting to look like a marigold.
You might actually have marigolds in your garden at the moment, those lovely orange pom-poms.
So you'll notice that when you're starting to take the 3rd colour up, your 3rd sheet up, your 4th one will like to go with it. But obviously you're just wanting to make sure that the 2 of them are separated so that your flower has lots of colours.
Petal.
So there we go. There is 1 marigold. Okay, so if at this point you do have any really random sticky up bits that you don't like, very carefully with a small pair of scissors and with adult supervision, you can snip them off. So if you see here, I've got a slightly weird bit that is just sticking up. So if my scissors would like to cut 1 sheet of tissue paper,
Wouldn't.
which they won't, that's fine. So there is 1 marigold. Okay, so there's 1 that was done earlier as well. That is just shades of pink. But you very well may have marigolds in your garden. They look a little bit like an orange pom-pom. They are most frequently orange. And I believe they actually can be eaten, can't they?
Yes, they can.
So marigolds are actually
Spicy.
edible.
Peppery.
I can't honestly say that I've tried one, but there we go.
Make a salad look really cool though.
So a few bits that I missed out earlier about the God's Eye. So the 4 points. This only obviously counts on the 4 points, not on the 3 the 3 sticks that I've done. So each point represents one of the elements. So you have earth, wind, air and water. So those are the 4 elements.
Fire. Earth, wind, fire and water.
What did I say?
Air.
Because I've written down air.
Whoops.
But as I say, you can do it with the multiple, and they look a little bit more like a spider's web. I will post a picture of these once they are done, but they can be quite time consuming. And you can do them in, traditionally, they are 5 colours, but you can do them in as many colours as you like. So that is it, guys, for this video. I will be posting another video of some of the activities that I have done with my beaver group. So you've got lots of things to look forward to there, like beaded lizards and some quite easy socially distanced games that I'm sure some of you can use. But that will all come in the next video. So I am going to go now for this video. Any of the sheets or resources that I've mentioned can be found on Goth Beaver Leader Start. That is Facebook and Instagram. And obviously this video will be on YouTube as well. So I will see you all in the next video, and have fun, guys.